Hi, this is Nick and Chris here at SaratogaWine.com, and today we are talking about a couple new releases from the iconic Ridge Vineyards in California. One of my personal favorite wineries. Everybody who I've introduced Ridge to, always seems to fall in love with them. Chris, what are we talking about today?
Talking about the Pagani Ranch in the Lytton Springs. The Pagani is mainly Zinfandel with a couple others blended in. What was that blend?
Okay.
Alicante Boucher.
Alicante Boucher and a little Petit Syrah as well.
Yeah.
So about 5% of each and then 90% Zinfandel. So single vineyard expression here. Ridge is famous for their balancing act of flavors, acidity,
Power.
fruit. They're not overripe. They pick kind of at an appropriate time.
Right. Definitely not your overblown, too sweet, too hot.
There's
perfectly
California
balanced.
ripeness in there.
Yeah.
And what you would expect out of a Zinfandel, that kind of spicy, peppery, raspberry character that I always get out of qualities in.
Yeah.
But the elements, there's just layers of flavor here.
Right.
This is an awesome wine. Variety of red meats, burgers, burgers and Zin, classic pairing, barbecue, clearly.
Wow. So much fruit, so much tannic structure. Everything's in balance, even for these new releases.
Young.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. These
Super
are
young.
legendarily age-worthy, but I find this ready to go right now.
And Zinfandel too, classically is kind of a young drinking wine that really doesn't have a lot of, kind of age-worthy characters to it. These wines will age.
Yeah,
Ridge
for sure.
And again, it's a balance of the tannins, the acidity in there, and just the overall quality of the fruit. A lot of them are old vines.
Right. Because Ridge is one of the, if not the first vineyard in that part of California, right?
So one of their first projects in Zinfandel, dating back to the early 60s, is the one that we're going to talk about next. That's the Lytton Springs Vineyard. The vines from Lytton Springs date back to the 1800s.
That's what I thought. When you said 60s, I thought it was a little older than that. But
well, that's when they started.
Ridge in particular, I got you.
Yeah, but the vineyard itself, 1800s, late 1880s, I believe.
Right.
And that's just something that you don't see in most other grape varietals.
Right.
California tends to rip up the Cabernet vines at about 30 years, most producers, because the production starts to...
Yields go way down.
Yeah. And, if you're California Cabernet, you have bills to pay, and those are expensive vineyards, and, they need production. But these are, monolithic old vines that are just fantastic expressions. It's like tasting through history, And that's what I love about the old vine vineyards. That's what I love about Ridge. These are some of my favorite wines drinking in California.
And Zin yields don't go down nearly as much as Cab yields.
No, they just develop these layers of flavor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the production goes down some, right? But
not like Cab.
No, but the quality goes up even higher,
Yeah.
and you just get such concentrated flavor in these wines.
Yeah.
They're absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Now let's try the Lytton Springs. Nick?
So Lytton Springs, again, is kind of the original Zinfandel offering from Ridge, dating back to the early 60s. So this is a true old vine field blend, dating back to the 1800s. What they would do is they would plant multiple grape varieties in these vineyards together, because it was kind of a, the sum is greater than its parts mentality, much like you see in similar to Bordeaux kind of in their blends. But these were interplanted, and for a long time, not too many people actually knew what the grape varieties themselves were until they really started, genetic mapping them. But this is Zinfandel dominant, about 72% Zin, and then several other grape varietals in there as well. Petit Syrah, Carignan, Alicante Boucher, some others as well. A darker expression of Zin than the Pagani Ranch is, which you'd expect with some of those darker grape varietals.
I was going to say that they blend well with Zin, but they tend to give it a little more structure, a little more depth.
On the nose, it's darker fruit as well. Think of more kind of blueberry, blackberry fruit versus more kind of a bit more of the raspberry and the Pagani. More structure.
Yeah, I get a tobacco leaf component to this.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dense, aromatic.
Yeah.
There's ripe fruit in there, but again, structured and nothing over the top. Everything's well balanced.
Sometimes with all the Zinfandel, if you don't have enough tannic structure, they can be flabby, come off a little sweet even. But
I mean, there's tons of
Right.
tannic structure in here.
Yeah.
This is a
Perfectly
wine
well
built for the
balanced.
cellar. There's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
I'm getting this like blue cheeseburger type thing.
Oh, sure.
That I want to have with it.
Right
you know, great with all sorts of red meats, barbecue, chicken dishes too. You know, some sort of a herbal component.
Right.
You know, because these Ridge especially, they tend to have not a green herbaceousness like underripe, but kind of an exotic herbal quality in their
thyme.
wines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are beautiful kitchen sink blends almost.
Yeah. You know, both under $50 a bottle, which, you know, again, by, you know, California standards these days is almost unheard of
Yeah,
for, you know, something of this quality.
It's a good deal.
Ridge Historic Winery, historic wines, these are phenomenal. We love them.
Yep, no doubt.
You're going to love them too. Cheers.
Enjoy.
Great wine, better prices delivered right to your door. SaratogaWine.com.